20 years, the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show has graced the greater West Bloomfield area as one of the top 100 juried art shows in all of America right here in our community, and it is returning in just a little while, July 29th and July 30th off of Powers and Daly Road, just off of Orchard Lake Road, the 20th annual Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Joining us now on the program is Patty Narozny, founder and executive producer of the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, as well as HotWorks Fine Art and Craft Shows. Patty, thank you as always for joining us.
Hi, Tyler. Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, glad to have you on. Over 20 years of efforts to put these shows forth, but this is the 20th version of this Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Tough to believe it's been 20 years of this, Patty, but for you, getting to this benchmark year, how does that feel as the organizer of this and to have seen this kind of growth over 20 shows?
Wow, how time flies, huh? Thank you very much for supporting the show, too, for probably all these years. So we work all year round to bring artists to the show who do not participate in other Michigan shows. So people are going to see great artists from all over the country who come to this event to sell their original and personally handmade art. There's something for everyone in all price ranges.
And the key part there you mentioned, original and handmade art. That is one of the big particulars that you're looking for in artists coming to this show. Everything that you're seeing at the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show year after year has been individually crafted by that artist or by those artists at the show. None of it's imported. None of it is duplicated. It is all done by that artist that you're speaking to. And speak to that, Patty, why that is such a focus for your team at HotWorks as you're putting together this and other art shows across the country.
Well, jury does not mean juried in our art show world. And for us, juried means the artist must be making his or her own work. And the focus is originality. Oh, I see you just showed a picture of one of the tents blown down from a storm we had about 3 years ago, and that happens too. So the focus is originality, per, technique, execution, and booth appearance is part of jurying. So we have a team of artist professionals who help curate the show to make sure that we work with artists who are making their own work and who are, every piece is original, and we don't want to have someone next to them with import who's buying and selling it. It wouldn't be fair to the artist, and it wouldn't be fair to any of the patrons who attend the event when we call it a juried show.
And it's also something that attracts people both in the greater West Bloomfield community, but also from around Oakland County and the state of Michigan to this show. It's something that I can say from speaking to people that have attended this show over the years, and I'm sure you can also attest to the patrons that come to this show, that buy this art, that attend the show year after year. They appreciate that originality and being able to talk to these artists about the actual process they went into to make this particular piece that they're exploring, yes, or possibly even putting into their homes.
Yes, very important. The patron gets to meet the artist at the show, which is very key. We found out after COVID, or during COVID, I should say, that the computer does not help you, the artists very much sell their work. Now more than ever, the art shows are more important because of the relationship that is formed between the artist and the patron who attends the event. Patron loves meeting the artist. They hear the history, not only behind the piece, but behind the artist and their life experiences. And as it turns out, many of these artists end up being friends, sometimes called family members, and even stay at the homes of some of the patrons who attend the show. Yes, the word is out that the summer show to go to is the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, and how we bring artists to this event that you don't see at other shows is in 2006, we expanded into Florida and North Carolina, where we currently have shows in Boca Raton, Naples, in Sarasota, and it's during the winter time. So That's why we work all year round to recruit artists to this event who you won't normally see at other Michigan shows.
Yeah, HotWorks has been named 18 times one of the top 100 art shows in America. That includes the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show and all of other HotWorks shows, as Patty mentioned, across the country all throughout the year. You can learn more information by visiting hotworks.org. Learn more about the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show and all the other shows as you're traveling across the country this summer and all throughout the year. The Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, July 29th and 30th in the heart of West Bloomfield Township on Powers and Daly Road. Those roads, it's literally on those roads. They're closed down for several days. And Patty, this is a big operation that involves a major team, not just from HotWorks, but also from within the township. Talk about that partnership, that continued partnership over the years, and how that really does add to building this show and continuing to make it the prolific art experience that it is every single summer.
Well, if we didn't have West Bloomfield's support behind this event, we wouldn't be back, put it that way. And West Bloomfield has been wonderful to work with. Steve Kaplan, Debbie Binder, Chris Darcy, Chief Patton, Fire Marshal Turnquist, they're all part of the show, and especially with helping keeping this event safe. And not only is West Bloomfield involved, I want to thank the city of Kego. We have Waterford involved, the Road Commission of Oakland County. DTE will be hanging the banners across the road. The Oakland County Health Department. There is just a tremendous amount of support and the team behind this event with making it a success. It's huge. So thank you very much, West Bloomfield and everyone else for their support and wanting to have the event back, especially. It's key to have the community not only, support the event, but actually want it back. And the patrons who support the event too. It's very key. We need the artists to be able to sell their work for them to come back. So all of that, all those little details add up to the success of the show.
Joining us on the program today is Patty Narozny, the founder and the executive producer of HotWorks, as well as the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, as you're seeing on the screen. Mark your calendars, July 29th and 30th, the Saturday show on the 29th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sunday, the final day of the show, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. $5 admission for everyone above 13, but 13 and under get in for free. And while we're talking about getting the kids into the art show to see that art and to build their love of art and maybe get an interest in that, I want to also talk about the youth art competition for grades K through 8 and ages 5 through 13. This has become, over the last several years, a key part of your operation at this and other shows. Why is that the case, Patty? What is the purpose of having a youth art competition at this big time art show also?
So very important. To date, we've exposed more than 4,500 students to the entrepreneurship and the rules of doing art shows for a living. And why it's important is I found out that a lot of the artists, they know how to make their work. They don't know how to sell it. They don't know how to display. They don't know how to apply to a professional art show. So not only is it the kids, which is a program that is incorporated into the show to expose them to the rules and entrepreneurship of doing art shows for a living, but we also help new artists get into the show with explaining to them, for example, if their work is there but they're not applying correctly, we spend a lot of time showing them how to submit their images properly for jurying, submit the booth presentation for jurying. So it's just key. We actually have a special guest this year, is a student of ours who's age 15. His name is Nolan, and his whole family is coming to Fort Myers. He's been with us in Florida for 10 years, and he'll be attending the event this year. Recently, at one of our shows in Florida, he sold a piece for over $2,000. So we want to let everyone know it's not too young or too old to get to know, to doing the art shows and to doing your artwork, because it's something that people love to do for a living, which is key to happiness in your life.
And I know that that's a big passion of yours, is helping these artists get to that next step, and really, if they're not able to already have art be that career and that passion of theirs, you're helping to drive that forward. For you, with that and everything else that goes into putting these together, what captures your interest, or it captures your heart the most about putting together this art show in the greater West Bloomfield communities, but also all your other ones all across Florida, North Carolina, and around the country?
Well, it's great working with these communities, and again, I want to thank West Bloomfield. Civic Center TV has been part of it. So it's these long-term relationships that I've been able to build over the last many years. And working with the same people is wonderful. And coming back every year, you have the patrons who approach me at the show. They actually find me, track me down, and say, Patty, thanks for bringing this great event to the community. And, that's what matters, and that's what counts the most.
Pat, Patty, it's the 20th annual Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. It is Saturday, July 29th and Sunday, July 30th. As you're getting ready for that show coming up at the end of July, anything special planned for this 20th annual event on Orchard Lake, just off of Orchard Lake Road on Powers and Daly?
We want to make sure that everyone knows that we're going to have plenty of food vendors at the event, so please support them too. We have great entertainment. Sheila Landis Trio, One Love Reggae, have been with us for 20 years, and they'll be performing. And we have Detour Band who will be here performing. Ken Mazer is a drummer who we've been working with for 20 years. So a lot of these people, again, it's wonderful to build these relationships and have people coming back year after year. In addition to the great food and entertainment, we just want to have people enjoy the show. We want everyone to know that the $5 admission supports the nonprofit Institute for the Arts and Education, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And it goes back into programs to support, for example, the Youth Art Competition, the Professional Artist Awards, and all the funds go directly back into producing the show and the cost of producing the event. Not only that $5 ticket, they'll get either a wristband or a stub to come back anytime throughout the years or throughout the show during the weekend. So if they see something that they love, they want to go home, think about it or measure it, they can go home, do that, and then they can bring their ticket to return. So that's really important for the patrons to know also. Plus, there's plenty of free parking behind Beaumont Medical Center, another community partner of ours. In addition, we want to thank all those local businesses in the area, the post office, West Bloomfield Plaza, who make this event possible by allowing us to come into their neighborhood and move in for 3 days and hopefully not disrupt their businesses so much. We really try to work on working with the community so we don't do that, but just allow for the great community event to happen. We should let everyone know that Powers and Daly is off of Orchard Lake Road, just south of Maple. And then they can find Beaumont Medical Center between 14 and 15 Mile. And the parking is in the last back half of that lot. So pretend you're going all the way to the back of that building and you're going to drive very conveniently to the entrance of the show. So everything is pretty convenient for this event where there's not a lot of fighting of traffic and having to find a parking spot, and just enjoy the show. And the crowds are not too heavy where you're smushed in between people where you can't breathe. Especially now we have to be concerned still with COVID, which I want to mention. We still have COVID guidelines in place with lots of social distancing. There's room between the booths and plenty of room in the aisleways too, but we actually do the social distancing still, which is extremely important for the COVID guidelines.
A great example of community partnership and a great example of what goes into making a high quality, classy art show. Patty, thank you so much for joining us today.
And thank you, Civic Center TV and West Bloomfield, for having us and for your support of the show.